Hey there folks, and welcome back to the I Am CDB project. I of course am your host CDB. You are not, and today we're going to do a shaving video and just ramble on various topics, but we're going to use Catie's Bubbles LTV La Terra Verte, a nice grassy type scent. On the label it's labeled as oak moss, sandalwood, and patchouli. Comes across sort of grassy in my opinion. Let me go ahead and wet the face. And I do have a couple of, 3 days growth there. Maybe just got back from fishing and camping for several days, so did not shave. Got a little hair coming in. And you can see why I shaved my head is because the hair grows mostly here. Up here it's slow. I mean, it comes in, but it starts way back there. So that's the whole reason I got rid of it to begin with. So let's get started with our Catie's Bubbles. Today I'm going to be using the Merkur 34C, I want to say, which I talked about my last video where I talked about first two razors you should buy. Something like the Edwin Jagger D89 Merkur 34C. Could be Razor Rock Game Changer. Could be any number of just sort of mild razors. Although I will say, even when safety razors are mild, they're still, they have quite a bit of bite relative to a cart razor. So just be careful with that. But anyway, we're going to use the 34C today on a few days growth and see how we do. And feels great. No problem. Using Astra SP as the blade. I got a number of emails about the videos, really a lot of positive comments. So many folks who said, yes, thank you for telling it like it is, in terms of you don't need to buy everything, at least when you're starting out. And like I said in the video, I'm just sharing my own experience and with my own failures to a certain extent. It's not really a failure, but I mean, you just learn by trial and error. And most people seem to take the path that they think buying a lot of stuff early on is beneficial. It's really not. In fact, it's probably counterproductive because it sort of inhibits your learning of, what you really like and your preference, because you just constantly have this stuff and you don't know really whether it's working well or not. And you're just, and take it from someone with experience and being caught up in all that. You'll learn as time goes on. Experience is the best teacher, as they say, and you'll learn what works well and what doesn't. And you'll also learn, quite frankly, that a lot of stuff, and I say this all the time, and some vendors get upset. I don't really care. Most of the mainstream stuff, artisan and mass-produced, that you commonly see used is pretty good stuff. I mean, and some are better than others, but the level of which they're better is incremental. And the stuff that is way priced much higher than the average is really a very little benefit in terms of being greater than anything else. Trust me, I've been there and I've done it, and I've spent that money in pursuit of the very, very best, and turns out really not that great. Anyway, moving on to a little bit about the trip. And some people don't like to hear these kind of things, but it's my channel. I just kind of blab on, and some people like that, some people don't. And if you don't, you certainly don't have to watch. But I appreciate it if you do. Anyway, I find that, I think I've mentioned this, but sort of getting out, away, unplugging, away from where I go, there is no connectivity, there's no cell signal. You have to drive about 25 or 30 minutes to even get a signal. So you are completely disconnected. There's no electricity, there's no running water. You basically have a fire pit in the river. That's pretty much it. And it's way back in the woods, so it's pretty far removed from any of our luxuries that we have. And I find that putting yourself in those situations and just sort of being out there and watching a fire or listening to the river run is really good for you. I think it is. This year, I've gotten to do it more than I have in the past. Now, the only thing I'll have to say, complaint-wise, is every time I go, it rains for at least a portion. Now, this time, as it turned out, it wasn't terrible, but the first day, it just poured the rain. I was trying to get everything set up and get, things covered, and it was just like, here we go again. Rain, makes everything muddy. It makes it, annoying, but turns out the next 2 days were pretty good. It just sprinkled a little bit one day after that, and so, it really wasn't too bad after that first day. But I do enjoy just getting out there, and it's peaceful. I went up Thursday really early. I was there about 7. My buddy came the next day late, Friday late. And so all day Thursday and all evening and all night, it was just me. By myself, out in the woods, just kind of enjoying, gives you time to think. I listened to some podcasts, and, that's pretty much the only luxury I had was, podcasts are already downloaded on my phone. I like to listen to like Joe Rogan. I think he's got a really good podcast. I keep mentioning Tim Pool. Tremendous news analysis, and he has, I think, Subverse that covers straight news, but really, really good stuff. Enjoyable. So I just simply, got a chance to catch up, listen to some stuff, sit around a fire, fishing. Of course, I fished quite a bit. Did not do very well this time. I mean, I caught a lot of fish, but they were mostly what they refer to as fall fish or chub, which just little, nothing of note. I probably caught 25 or 30. It's really annoying because they basically steal your bait, and you're constantly having to put bait on or take them off, and, and the bait doesn't even get a chance to get down to what you're really fishing for, which was trout. I caught one nice trout, and my friend who came didn't really catch anything. So it was a little slow. Last time we did pretty well. We caught quite a few trout. Caught one nice trout, and that was it. So I don't know if it was just, mostly been caught out at this point, because they do stock this river, but it's been a while, so. Or it was just slow, they just weren't biting. But it was slow going, and I fished in a number of different places, and but still, just sort of sitting there, listening to the water run, sort of, it's peaceful, it's enjoyable, and I think it helps just with getting away from instant everything, where you just have some time to yourself to think and reflect and be grateful, which I think is really important. I say that a lot increasingly. It's really important to be grateful if you're relatively healthy and have the ability to do some things. We don't all have everything we want. We've all made mistakes. We all struggle at times. I certainly do. But if you're relatively healthy, then, like I said before, have good friends and family. Try to think about it from time to time and be grateful. And certainly that sort of setting where there's nothing in the way of luxury, it's just literally the woods, allows you the time to reflect. And I think it, at least for me, gives some perspective. It's tiring because, you have to struggle. It's constantly getting wood, keeping the fire going, keeping dry, And it was actually hot this time. But back in there, it's not as hot because there's pretty much tree canopy almost everywhere. But it does allow, just allows you to think and reflect, and it's good, I think. It's good to just, very few people truly get somewhere where they're totally disconnected from all communication from everybody. Now, the downside to that, of course, is you run the risk if something happens and you're by yourself, as I was, it's on you. There's, unless somehow you can signal help, there's no signal, there's no way to communicate. It's going to be on yourself to get out or get to a hospital or whatever. So from that perspective, I don't necessarily recommend it for yourself, but at least let someone know where you're going. And so I did, have someone that knew where I was going and was going to join me. Anyway, let's get back to the shave here, which was actually quite nice. La Terra Verte, which you see here. Catie's Bubbles, really good product. I do recommend Catie's Bubbles. Good fellow that runs it, Chris. Good product. You can buy it with confidence, in my estimation. Merkur 34C. And by the way, this is 2-piece razor for those of you who don't know, new people. Only 2 pieces. That goes in there and screws down, which is a little bit different from the Edwin Jagger, which I talked about, which is 3 pieces. Really good razor for folks at all level of experience. Does the job consistently, and that's what you want. I actually grabbed the wrong aftershave. After I shave the dome, I'll probably do a video on that one. I'm gonna get out and use not this one, LMR, but I'm gonna get the La Terra Verte and use that aftershave. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Thanks for watching as always. Thanks for listening to me babble. Until next time, I've been your host, CDV. You are not. God bless.